part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Run, William, run! He's got blockers in front. 5, touchdown! Joshua Cribbs turns disaster into a score! Kick blocked! They blocked the kick!
How you doing, Tyvis? What a week. What a season.
What do you mean? I mean, it's eventful, you know.
Miss a day, miss a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it has been it's been quite a week. Obviously, a new signing, new starting quarterback,
new play caller.
Play caller.
We're gonna get into it.
Very, very interesting.
I've been liking doing our pods a little bit later in the week now, I think, because there's more. It's not just a full reaction pod, you know, we're getting a little bit more into like the midweek of like new storylines and like, you know, we wouldn't have the Dorsey stuff today if we would have done it earlier, you know, so I like mixing it up and doing it a little bit later in the week.
Whenever you want to do it, I'm cool with it. You know, you are a tremendous leader and I am a awesome follower.
Well, I want to start with something positive before we get into the Browns. Tyvis has picked up a new endeavor.
Oh my gosh.
And
I'm
proud.
I'm forced into it because see what happened.
Give me the background.
So this is what happened. All right. So I was sitting there and for about the past month or so, I've been seeing Sherm running online. So he called me one day and we having a conversation. I see you picked up a new hobby. What are you running now? He says, yeah, I'll be running like 10 miles a day. And I'm like, huh. So the thing is I get his notifications every time he runs on my watch because him and I are like, we share activities and stuff. So I'm like, 10 miles. Okay, whatever. So I was sitting around one day. I'm at the gym and I'm like, you know what? After him and I talked on the phone, I said, I'm gonna try. Let me try. I said, I ain't running 10 miles. I can run 2.5 though. So I run the 2.5 and I posted and I said, my calf was killing me. Mm-hmm. And from that moment on, I said, this is a one-off. I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing this no more. I'm done with it. Like, all right. So I'm sitting there yesterday. I didn't go to the gym yesterday because I had to work in Cleveland. And then I had to come back and I had to work in Columbus. So I'm like, I won't have time. So I'm gonna just take the day off. This fool gets up and tags me in the post with all the people in the run club. And I'm like, now it's like I gotta do it. So now I feel guilty because like I'm obligated to do it. So I got roped into this. But again, I'm not running 10 miles. Like that's not listen, I'm looking at the Nike Run Club right now. Mm-hmm. He is at 120 miles on the month as we speak. I'm not doing that.
That's a lot how is his body? 10 a day? That's crazy. I do 10 a week. Well, I do 10. I do more than 10 a week, but I do 10 at once. That's because I'm training for my half, which is Saturday. It's this Saturday.
Oh, good luck with that.
It's my first one. Thank you. Thanks, Lululemon.
I tell you what, I envy people that run. As I was running last night at 7:00 at night in my neighborhood, I sat there, and as I'm running, you running actually gives you time to think.
It does.
Sitting there thinking as I'm running, and I'm thinking to myself, people do this for fun. Like this is what they do for fun. And I, for the life of me, got to 2 miles, and I thought to myself, there's no way in the world that I will ever get to 10 miles. Like there's no.
You say that, but I'm telling you, I never thought, Tyvis, I never ever ran up until COVID, and I started walk a minute, run a minute, walk 2 minutes, run 2 minutes, and I slowly built up. And if you would have told me 4 years ago that I'd be running a half and have a run club and doing all this stuff, I would have been like, there is no way on this.
Wait a minute. When you say run club, you on the Nike Run Club app?
No, my run club that I host weekly with other women.
Oh,
Yeah.
how many? And y'all run 6 miles?
No, we do. Well, we keep it pretty easy. We do about a 5K. Sometimes we've done 4, we've done 5. It
That
just depends on who's
three,
there.
that's 3 point something, right?
3.2,
5K.
3.1, whatever. Yeah.
Might be able. I feel like I might be able to. I don't know if I can run the whole thing.
You could. You were a
Run the whole-
professional athlete. You could. And you know what? That last half for you is mental. Okay.
I ran a
What it
4K.
is.
I ran a not a 4K. I ran a 4 miler at OSU 2 years ago. And when
Remember this.
I ran it in something ridiculous like 42 minutes or 38 minutes, something crazy that I shouldn't have did. And from that moment on, I said, yeah, that was it. Like that's it. I'm never doing that again. 4 miles, that's ridiculous.
Well, I'm proud of you. I think it's great. I don't know if you're gonna be doing this. You're gonna do
Ollie,
this every day.
I wanna quit.
No. What would you tell me?
I want to quit.
No.
It's not
Nope.
this ain't for me though. Like this ain't my thing.
That's fine, but you're doing it what for the rest of the month? It's a good goal. You're gonna knock out 2.5 every day.
We'll see.
Are
We'll
you
see.
gonna run tonight?
No, I can't. I got this, and then I got to do some Big Ten prep, and then I got to get a haircut, and then I got to get the kids to bed because I got Lauren a massage. So no, I can't.
Mm.
Extremely
All
tonight.
Well, I would just wanted to let everybody know that I'm proud of my partner over here for getting those miles in. But switching over to the reason why we do this, the dumpster fire of the Cleveland Browns just continues. I mean, it's actually amazing that there's turmoil like everywhere you turn, from obviously the play on the field to the injuries to the changes to the players being mad at the fans to the fans being mad at the players to the county suing the Haslams. It's outrageous. I don't ever remember a time being a fan where there's always drama with this team, but never to this extent. And I don't know. No wonder Kevin is like, I don't know. I listened to the press conference today. I don't know if you did. And I don't know. He had a little edge to him today, which he normally obviously doesn't. I think he looks like he's aged like a president. He's exhausted. He looks so fed up. I don't know. I have a couple questions for you, Tyvis. So I do want to start with real quick. I don't want to harp on it because it's already been harped on with everyone, and I know that you've dealt with it doing the post-game show. But the whole booing and the fans situation, I just want to touch on it for a minute. I know that, I mean, I was not in that stadium. I've heard from a lot of different people that it was these pockets of people across the stadium that were doing this. No one condones it. No one agrees with it. The issue I had was the martyr-like treatment of Deshaun and his moral character, and like he's this upstanding citizen, and that for me as a female fan also really bothered me. And I feel like with all of this drama, it's been hard for me to I've never felt this conflicted with my fandom before. And I was thinking a lot about when you were saying, like, you know, you don't put the feelings in it and you just, you know, I don't operate that way. And so many people don't. So I was emotional after that game, and I was upset and angry. Do you think that now that this is something that's both the players and the fans are going to get over? And let me back up. Have you been in a situation like this before? And do you think that the fans and the players will be able to move on from this?
Have I been in a situation where fans cheered for somebody getting hurt?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. Well, do I think that this is something that the players and the fans will get over and be able to kumbaya? Absolutely. Because listen, right now, the only reason that this is a thing is because everybody's frustrated. right now.
Yeah.
Everybody, players, fans, coaches, everybody is frustrated with this season because there were so many expectations. And when you don't reach those expectations, now you get upset and now you start to lash out because you're angry. Everybody's angry. And, this situation with the whole Deshaun thing, I mean, that was a situation that at some point it was going to happen. The situation, the off the field stuff was going to dictate the fandom, and it was
Yeah.
going to be a moment where he was going to have to face it, and the fans wasn't going to hold back no more, and they was going to truly show their true colors. And in adverse times is when you see people's true colors. Every time, anytime something gets sticky and it's not going the right way, that's when the truth comes out with people. So
Mm-hmm.
that situation, when I heard him cheer for him being hurt, like I was like, that's messed up. Truly, like that. I was like, that's obviously I'm a former player. I always side with the players. I understand why the players feel the way that they feel, 1,000%. But I can't be oblivious to now that I'm not in it anymore, and now that I do hear fans and get the feelings from fans. I can't be oblivious to the fact that I understand why fans felt the way that they felt as well. With that being said, you pay your money, you come in there, you do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you paid that ticket. You can cheer, boo, clap, stomp, spit. No, don't do that. Do whatever you want to do. At the end of the day, as a player, I play for my teammates anyways.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, and
I understand why they were so upset because you always defend your teammate no matter
sure.
what.
Yeah.
So I understand now, Miles. Obviously, Miles, and another thing, another thing with the situation is the players know the truth. They know the truth of the situation. At least
Mm-hmm.
you hope they do.
Right.
We don't. We don't.
Yeah.
We only going off of what we think and what rulings have happened and things like that. So we technically don't know what. So our feelings is conflicted because we think we have an idea of what happened, but we don't truly know. So everybody's formed their opinion because of something that they truly feel. And I get it. I get
Yeah.
from the optics of it, from the situation of it all, I get why everybody has formed the opinion that they have formed. And you're not necessarily wrong. I think that this also goes back to something that I had a conversation with. Even Jim Donovan went viral last year. It goes back to the point that the Browns keep everything so bottled up that fans do nothing but speculate. If they knew more
Yeah.
inside stuff and they knew the truth about everything, I think it'll cause less tension between the fans,
Yeah.
the media, and the players and the team. So it's really in full circle something that they bring on themselves.
Yeah.
Sorry for that long-winded answer.
No, and I think all of I agree with you on pretty much everything that you said. I think, you know, a couple things to add to that. Totally agree about the Browns being secretive. That has been something that it does them no favors, really, at the end of the day. Um, Especially in a city like Cleveland where we appreciate, we're this hard, blue collar town, this,
Mm-hmm.
hardworking town, but we do. It's based on a lot of honesty and realness. And, we've been through so much. I think the fans overall, I feel for the fan because I know that the expectations are constantly changing for a fan, right? You're constantly being pulled in every direction. You are told to cheer, you're told to like this guy, and you're supposed to like this guy. And you can't not like this guy this week. You got to be okay with this guy playing this week. It's like this, it's constant, and you don't get a say, right? You are chained to whatever the team decides to do, and you had to like it. And if you don't like it, that's too bad. You don't have to be a fan anymore. But when you play on people's heartstrings and you play on people's emotions and feelings when they're connected to a team, and these, actually in my run club tonight, there was a guy in my run club who we were kind of giving him a little bit of crap. He's a Steelers fan, and we said why, and someone asked him why he was a Steelers fan, and he said, well, it was the first NFL game I ever saw. And and I said to him, I was like, or someone else that was there, I said, I love hearing people's fandom stories. I think it's really cool on how people have become fans, depending on how they grew up or they were inspired by somebody or what have you. And I mean, I thought about that. Like we hold so much. Athletes are not heroes, right? We know that now. I think back in the day, we didn't have the access like we do to
Hmm.
these athletes. We didn't have all this behind the scenes and all of this stuff. And there's so much that's changed now that we do end up making and forming our own decisions and feelings on these guys. And you're right that there's only so many people that know the truth about what happened. But I think when you stay silent on one thing, Chris Canty said it on Sportsman like this week on ESPN Radio. He was talking about both things can be true, right? You can sit there and condemn the booing, that's fine, but also knowing the overall situation and your audience of who you're talking to and what you're saying.
Hmm.
And so I think that I feel for the fan because I know that it's never the majority. It is always the minority with a lot of this. And you're right. I think everything came to a head. There's so much frustration. It's like when you have all this bent up and everyone's mad at each other in a family or something, right? And you have everyone's, well, what about me? And what about me? And it finally all kind of comes to a head like this. Yeah, we've hit a weird rock bottom, a rock bottom that we haven't really been in before. I think we've been in rock bottoms where we knew we were. And this
Hmm.
is a whole new venture. So anyway, I wanted to just kind of touch on that. I didn't want to totally make it all about that for this episode, but I did want to acknowledge that. And then, trying to turn the tables. That's why I do that too. Um, I'm the Kevin not calling the plays. I do want to talk about that now.
Hmm.
I was at first I was like, I don't understand because the whole point of Dorsey, I thought, coming in was for Deshaun. So
Hmm.
now Deshaun's out, and the week that he goes out, they decide to make this change. So I know you and I have talked a lot about play calling over the years. You've also talked to me about how it doesn't really matter. And with how collaborative the whole Browns organization is, that we like to say that they love to say how collaborative they are.
Hmm.
How much does this matter? And why make the change now?
So when I seen it, I thought like everybody else, that's kind of odd, you know. But then I started thinking about, the whole entirety of this whole thing. So Ken Dorsey was brought here because he's more of a shotgun specialist. Kevin is not. Kevin is he
Hmm.
works from under center. That's his thing. Deshaun Watson obviously wants to be in the shotgun. So you bring Ken Dorsey in to help you with that area of expertise because that's his thing. Um, Jameis, to me, Jameis was brought in because he fits more so of Ken's style more than Kevin's style.
Okay.
When you think of Jameis, you think gunslinger, 30
Yeah.
touchdowns, 30 picks, 5,000 yards. That's what you
Hmm.
think of. So he also is a shotgun specialist. So I think finally he said, you know what? He's better suited for you than what I want to do. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and do it because everybody wants you to do your thing. You would know how to handle Jameis more so than I would. So I'm gonna let you take the lead in this and do what you can and put them in the best situation. You want to put your team in the best situation. I think it was very noble of Kevin to finally be like, you know what? I'm gonna look at my quarterback, see what he's best at. It's shotgun. Kid, you better at me than shotgun. You do it. You run this thing. I think it's noble that he did that. I think he's a little bit too late by doing that because I think he could have did the same thing with Deshaun. But here,
Yes.
I think that to me, with the whole Deshaun situation is the way that thing played out. I know everybody keeps saying it has to be Jimmy, but the way that thing playing out, and now looking at this now, it makes me think Kevin. It makes me think even more that Kevin was the one that really wanted to shine like that because he wanted to make it work. That's why I think he wanted to call plays because he was like, "Listen, if I'm going down with Deshaun and he ain't, I'm gonna go down calling the plays." Like that's just
Hmm.
so. To me, it seems like now that he's not in there anymore, and DTR is not the guy. That's why I think DTR was the second string guy last week because I feel like they was trying to get back to more of Kevin's style of offense. And Jameis comes in here and he only knows the new stuff. He don't know
Right.
Kevin's old stuff. So I think DTR was the reason. That's why DTR was the backup last week. And which he kind of admitted to that same thing in the post game. Right after I said it, he was like, we was doing more jumbo sets, and I felt more comfortable with DTR handling that than Jameis. So he kind of confirmed my point, which means that I do know some things.
You do.
But anyways, ultimately, Jameis is in. Jameis is better with shotgun. I think it's going to be more of a passing style, passing attack. And I think that's why he gave up play calling for this week.
Now, when we look to what the rest of the season is going to entail, we're at a weird crossroads because it's like we know we're not going to make the playoffs, right? We're not going to go win 10 games.
Unless they win 10 straight.
Unless they win 10 straight. And that's not going to happen. But so because of that, it's like, what would you rather have, 5 more wins or the number 1 pick next year? It's like we're kind of in this weird, limbo stage with this team. And I agree, too little too late, probably, obviously, at this point. I also, though, feel like if he didn't and it was just the same thing, we would still be frustrated. So I don't mind that maybe this is we're going to try it out. Why not? We're losing. We're not winning anything. We might as well just try it.
I also think it's an evaluation period. If you truly believe that you're not in the playoffs and it's over with for this season, then I think at this point it becomes, let's evaluate for next year. We need to evaluate coaches, players. We need to put people in 2 separate categories. Are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem? And I think the only way to find out if Ken Dorsey is part of the solution or the problem, you have to give him the play call and have at least let you see what he can do. The last time we seen him out there, he was ripping his clipboard and he was throwing his clipboard and ripping papers up in his box office in the press box. So, give him a chance. It's not fair to him that you brought him over here and you won't even give him a fair shake at the thing. So, like I said, it's a noble thing. And like I said, the more that I think about it, I do think that the Deshaun Watson thing was more of a Kevin decision, which is why he owed it to the end like that. And now that he's not there anymore, hey, hey, now glad to do what you will. Let's try everything out. Let's try to figure something out for next year. Let's try it all out. Let's see.
And I'm sure he just wants a win, right? Like I think we all just want to. I would like to see them win here in the next before the bye. It ain't going to be against the Ravens. I mean, I don't know. I am so scared, Tyvis, of how much.
What if it is?
I know. I've thought about that too. Can you even imagine if Jameis goes out there and beats the Ravens? This town will start on fire.
It would be a whole bunch of, and if Ken would have called the plays to begin with, I think that could be a worst case scenario for Kevin. Do you think Kevin is safe past this year?
I think, I've thought a lot about that too. There's a big part of me that says like, yeah, I don't know how you go from 2-time coach of the year and,
you can hire
what he's done with.
You can hire a one-time coach of the year who just so happens to serve as a defensive analyst on your staffs.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And he just so happened to be from Cleveland. He just so happened to be a nitty-gritty guy.
Well, this is going to be even when we talked the last episode, we talked about kind of what this was going to mean for Kevin, depending on whoever it was that was calling these shots about Deshaun being out there. We debated that last time we talked. And, I said last time, like, if all I have to go on is Kevin, then that's who I'm going to go on. And I'm going to feel bad to a certain extent because if he is a sacrificial lamb here and now he's trying to do something maybe to be like, see, it ain't me. And it backfires. That's a possibility. I mean, the Haslams, for one thing, I'll give them credit. They spend the money and they want to win. Okay, they've proven that to a fault, as we know. But at this point now, I mean, you do have to wonder if this is going to blow up in his face. I
will continue to say this, and I want to be on record. This will be like the second or third time I said this, but I want to make sure that I am on record saying this. The only way that this Deshaun Watson thing doesn't go down as the biggest disaster, it's only one person that can save this whole thing. And his name is Dorian Thompson Robinson. And the reason I say that is because the only reason Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch still got their job from the Trey Lance situation is somehow, some way, by the grace of God, they lucked up and drafted Brock Purdy and he took off.
Oh, I know.
The only thing that can save AB and Kevin, if they are
Absolutely.
the ones that wanted him, is the fact that they somehow lucked up and got Dorian Thompson Robinson. He became a franchise quarterback. That's why you think they keep trotting him back out there, because they know that is their only.
Can't stay. I know, but he can't stay healthy. My God, if the finger. Honestly, I don't. I feel bad for him too, because I don't know.
They do him filthy.
Yes.
They do him so dirty. It don't make no sense. No preparation.
None.
They just throw him into fire.
I mean, it's pretty mind-boggling. I don't know. There's every time I want to assume something with this team, it changes. I mean,
you gotta be like me. You go in with no expectations.
well, I'm getting to that point. Oh, well, you know what?
I'm dead inside. I'm dead inside.
Well, last week really did me. It was a real doozy across the board. And then, I did want to quickly just touch on the stadium situation is just mind-boggling to me. I need to read more up on I need to read more on some of the detail, but what I've been able to gather from just the small pieces is, the county, they're viewing this, they're trying to use this Art Modell law. Have you heard about this?
Mm-hmm. That they taking it outside, so he's got to sell the team or something.
Yeah, but then they got to open it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And technically somebody could take this team. Not that you got $5.4 billion or whatever the hell it is. You never know. And they're going to take them to Nashville.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know if that's going to really read, because like they took them outside of the state like the last time. Like this,
this is so it's so dumb.
We're talking 15 minutes. Like
it's so dumb, Tyvis. The fact that we are that desperate to keep that our economy is we're relying on for what, 8-9 home games a year, 2 preseason games, maybe a concert or 2 that we get that shows up here. Like that's it. That's all that we have from this team. And you cannot convince me. Like, if anything, this should be a blessing that that now they should be able to develop downtown. We've pigeonholed ourselves for so long in this city. This is an opportunity to not have our economy rely entirely on our sports teams. I mean, when LeBron left, I was here. I felt that impact. It was awful. And it shouldn't have to be like that. So why that they're digging their heels in like this, it doesn't.
Well, I think
it's ridiculous.
They want to do it for businesses, because I guess those businesses will be affected, which I can see that. They make a lot of money off them 8 to 9.
They do, but when you put something else in that area, when you replace it with,
I agree. Knock the thing down. Houses, restaurants, make it a lake. I agree, but I don't know. Listen, I don't have a problem with the dome at all. Like I said,
either.
From a player standpoint, only thing I request is grass. I just want grass inside the thing. That's outside of that. If you want to put me inside when it's cold, and the thing is, it's no history there. We have no history downtown. Like if downtown was a place where we won the AFC championship game, and because of the conditions like that, it's never been there. We haven't. Have we even hosted a playoff game? So why is everybody so cling to this place? Like we have a losing record at home since '99, since we've been back. I don't understand what the fight is. Like I say, you will enjoy yourself. Don't get me wrong, the tickets probably will be expensive, but you will enjoy yourself much more if you are inside of a dome come December. You won't have to worry about the wind and all of those things. The traffic flow is going to be much better.
Parking alone. Do it for the parking alone, and all of the events that they're going to host, and we'll have an opportunity for Super Bowl. And that's the biggest thing.
Taylor Swift will be there.
Exactly. I mean, I just had to. I mean, it's so ridiculous that this fight, and it's going to blow up in their face. I'm telling you.
Oh, the accounting?
Yeah.
Mm.
And you would think they'd work together. I mean, there's going to be, I don't know. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. So the Browns are fighting wars, on every front.
It's a great time to be alive because I'm just on the outside looking at it. I have to keep my job with the Browns for
I
at
know
least
you do.
4 more seasons. I have to see the dome. Like I have
I know.
I have to be very careful because I got fired for one job this year already. So I got to make sure that I'm very careful what I say and do so I don't lose my house.
You won't. People have towed that line, Tyvis. Don't you worry.
Oh man, I'm gonna be the perfect PR guy for the Cleveland Browns. I'm gonna be like Jameis on times 10.
Well, hopefully he breathes a little life into this offense
I
and
mean,
maybe
listen,
moves the ball a little bit. And
that's the one thing people still gonna come to the game because Jameis is playing. Ken is calling the plays. People are gonna tune in just because I want to see. I want to see
I
what it
want to
looks
see.
like.
Yep. Well, I mean, we know that it's going to be quite abysmal, but let's get your prediction.
Browns lose 21-7, 21-10.
So still not hitting the 20 point mark. I think they do this week. I'll give him that. I said that last week. That was sad, but I'll say it again. I think they hit the 20 point mark this fine. So what do you said? 21-7? Is that what you said?
21-10.
21-10.
Dustin Hopkins just goes 100%.
Yeah. Lay off Hopkins, by the way, everybody. Guy's had a couple rough kicks, all right? But the man has been pretty much perfect. And when he is not able to deliver, that's when the rest of the team should be stepping up. That's the team. Everyone's really getting down on him, and I feel bad.
He's missing some layups.
I know. I just
Yep.
give him some time. Look, everyone's hurting. Everybody hurts.
I ain't. I ain't.
All right, I'll say 34-21.
34-21.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. You know what? Even if they lost 56-20, if they hit 20, that's something to celebrate.
Agreed.
That's something to it's sad we gotta take the we
You
gotta
know
look
we didn't
we want
even mention, by the way?
Nick
Nick
Chubb.
Chubb.
Yeah. It's hard for Nick Chubb to get back to Nick Chubb when that offensive line is abysmal. So Wyatt Teller comes back this week though.
That's
So
right.
maybe that helps, maybe because he does like to run to the right side. So maybe Wyatt is the missing piece. But when he got the ball in this past game, I was just like, he getting ate up in the backfield. It's the line.
Yeah.
It's
God,
hard to do though.
I get so nervous now with him.
It was
But
nice seeing him getting in the end zone. He had a nice little spin move to get in. So I'm like, the knee must be feeling pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yep, agreed. It's great to have him back. I'm very happy. I read the Players Tribune article and I had chills, and it was just big fan of this guy. Big fan of
Yeah.
Nick.
Well, he might be gone after this.
All right, we'll discuss that next time. We didn't even talk about trades, and I can't even. My mind can't even. We went this entire show without even bringing up Nick's job. That's like ridiculous.
It was a lot going on this week.
What's going on? Well, we'll be back, and we'll see what storylines are driving our conversation.
Trade deadline in what, 2 weeks? We'll see.
Yes, we will.
If they lose this game badly, it's gonna be a fire sale. I don't care what people say. They fire sale. They gonna stock picks. But until then, here we go, brownies. Here we go.